President-elect Trump is getting a head start on foreign relations, with his team already holding talks with Ukraine about ending the war with Russia. A top aide to Ukraine's president holding meetings in Washington and Florida, meeting with several people in Trump's incoming administration, including J.D. Vance. This as Volodymyr Zelensky continues pushing for Ukraine to join NATO, which is something the president-elect has not committed to. So let's bring in News Nation's Robert Sherman. He is live for us in Florida outside of Mar-a-Lago. Robert, what else are we hearing about these meetings?
Yeah, Nichole, as the war in Ukraine approaches its 3-year mark, the Ukrainians in particular are looking for some kind of change in the status quo that works to their strategic benefit. And keep in mind, this was a central promise for the president-elect to try and bring down these tensions between the Ukrainians and the Russians, as well as these wars overseas. So this is very significant to him. And you see this reporting from the Wall Street Journal that these conversations are starting to open up here. You mentioned the name J.D. Vance, a couple other people who have been involved in those conversations. Mike Waltz, who is the president-elect's pick to be national security advisor, as well as Keith Kellogg, who was the president-elect's choice to be the special envoy to Russia and Ukraine. And what we've been able to glean so far is that a key tenet of the strategy here to wind down this war is getting both sides of the negotiating table as quickly as possible, potentially through diplomatic coercion if necessary. So that means if the Ukrainians don't have interest in coming to the table, aid to the Ukrainians could potentially be wound down. Conversely, if the Russians don't want to negotiate, aid to the Ukrainians could be amped up as a result here. That's the central tenet here, is getting both of these sides to the negotiating table as quickly as possible and then taking those conversations from there. But this is a central portion of what the president-elect has talked about on the campaign trail for months. Nichole.
Right. So we know some of the president-elect's goals, certainly when it comes to that war between Ukraine and Russia. What is Ukraine signaling as their ultimate goals?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing here, Nichole, is NATO membership, which is something that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has stumped on again and again. In fact, saying that he met with the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, having a conversation with him today, once again re-upping that stance that he believes that Ukraine needs to be a part of NATO. In fact, you listen to the statement that was put out by the Ukrainian Foreign Ministry, leaves little to mystery. It says, quote, "We will not settle for any alternative surrogates or substitutes for Ukraine's full membership in NATO." On the other hand of this conversation, the Trump team has not had a large appetite for NATO membership for the Ukrainians there. That has been a sticking point for them. Again, a lot of these conversations still have to continue on here, but there are a lot of question marks as to exactly can that gap be bridged there, or what exactly that's going to look like when January comes around. Nichole.
Absolutely. All right. Robert Sherman live for us there in Florida. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.